The French Revolution has been televised during the World Cup. I would like to get your analysis on what's going on with Raymond Domenech, or like I like to call him now, Raymond Dramenech.
I call him Crazy Ray, actually. I've been doing that for a while. I can't see how Domenech kept his job after Euro 2008, because it was clear then that the respect was not there from the players, the results were not there, and it was going to be hanging by a thread, but only if they got results. And if that didn't happen, which did not happen in the first two games here in South Africa, we were going to see some problems, and we have.
It's clear that it's a farce. It's clear that Domenech is not respected, not only by the players, but by the fans, and it's been clear for a long while. But I put the finger of blame somewhere else as well. Yes, this is player power gone crazy, but would, for God's sake, Lizarazu, Laurent Blanc, Patrick Vieira, Zinedine Zidane, shut up. Because all they're doing here is just trying to overcast this shadow of the '98 team, and you're never going to get as good as us, especially Lizarazu. Just can't stop criticizing whatever the team is doing. And by the way, Raymond Domenech qualified for the first time in the history of France, qualified France to 3 summer tournaments. So he must have done something right at some point.
Well, he also lost the last World Cup final on penalties, so why not crown him and make him manager of France forever?
He did made it to the final then.
Last time around? Yes, he did. But, you know, let's also look at Vieira, Lizarazu, Zidane. These people now work in the media, or certainly Lizarazu and Vieira do. They have every right to criticize and to call it as they see it. This French side are not good. They had a lot of problems. Domenech made a lot of screwy decisions, and bad decisions have consequences.
You mentioned player power, but surely it's a case of the federation trying to have too much power by trying to control Domenech and then trying to control the players as well.
Clearly, the French Federation is just in total reactive mode on this one and is trying to save face publicly that once the information about Anelka's problems with Domenech in the locker room got out, they felt like they had to do something. But the problem was, it sounds like they didn't do their due diligence talking to everyone else inside the team before going public with sending home Anelka, not knowing what the reaction would be from the players.
Although the federation says that they actually talked to the captain about the Anelka situation, but what is for the players to decide if a player's got to go or not from the camp? It was clear that these things that happened at halftime at the Mexico game, when he insulted Domenech, happens all the time.
There is one man here who's responsible. There is one man here who gets paid a lot of money to run the French Federation, and nobody's mentioned his name. And I think he should be outed here, because it's easy to pick on Domenech. His name is Jean Escalette, and he's the guy who should have been taking these decisions, and he's the person who made one wrong decision after another and really didn't give Domenech the help that he needed. Not that it would have made much of a difference.
We can't forget that there is actually one more game that France has to play. It's kind of got lost in all this chaos. What can we expect from the team?
First off, I think maybe we should have given Ireland the chance to play this final group game for France. I think that might have been a fun thing. But as far as the game itself against South Africa, I think this gives South Africa a chance to perhaps get a win here and put themselves in the conversation after most people had removed them from that. But there will be a lot of pressure on the French team, because all eyes will be on them to see how these players respond to all this turmoil. And I think a lot of people's opinions of these players will define it for years to come.
I'm fascinated, not so much about what's going to happen in that game, because, of course, if Mexico and Uruguay draw, which they will, it's nothing. It doesn't matter what happens in that game. But what will happen when those players go back to France? Not so much the ones that play abroad, but I think it's going to be a backlash against those players.
Do you think that there is still a chance that France could make the next phase, Gabriele?
I would like to say that I hope to see a reaction of pride from the French players, to go out there and absolutely hammer South Africa, to sort of show people this is what might have been. On the other hand, given that South Africa are the host nation, given that everything seems to be going in a certain direction, I don't expect that at all.